of the Zen master. This fellow comes to learn from the Zen master, and the Zen master does not teach him. He starts pouring the tea, and the tea start falling over. And then they say, what are you doing? He's saying, your mind is like that right now. You're not ready to learn from me because you have come with so much stuff in your own head. So when you do approach a guru, you have to go a complete open mind, and whatever you have in your mind, you have to put it aside to listen to the new knowledge that the guru is going to give. That's what it's meant by this prostration. Pariprashnena is by asking questions, because we are going to always have doubts, and the best way to remove those doubts is by asking questions, because then the person knows on the other side what is the problem. Okay, so then he will be able to answer it. So question asking is a totally encouraged in Vedanta. All the Upanishads are asking question answer between the guru and the student, but there are certain things we have to follow, and when we do the Swamiji's commentary, he's going to tell you that within the devotion, respect and reverence and admiration ke bhitar wo question hona chahiye. But there are some people who go to some satsang just to pull somebody down, or argue for the sake of argument and all. It shouldn't be like that. It's for the genuine reason of asking question. And sevaya, by service, and the actual meaning behind that is tuning to the teacher. It's not so much like do the physical seva and all that, because he's saying that Swamiji is going to explain that how they used to have ashrams and stuff like that we have now. उसमें वो ज़रूरत पड़ती है, सेवा करने की. मगर सेवा करने से ना एक बहुत important चीज़ होती है, तुमको गुरु का सानिध्य मिलता है. Because then you are more, जैसे पुराने ज़माने में गुरुकुल में जाके रहते थे तो सब स्टूडेंट्स ही करते थे ना सारा chores. And you cannot connect to the guru, you become attuned to him, and when you tune to your guru, then the knowledge passes, from higher to the lower. So this seva is mainly at a mental level, but physical also it's not bad to do, because that it makes us humble, So that's what is there are three things he said. Firstly, approach a guru with prostration, question and service. So there are three things. Dandavat pranam, questioning and doing seva. And guru कैसा होना चाहिए? उसमें दो दिया इन्होंने, तत्वदर्शिनः and ज्ञानिनः. So that's the same like I have talked about before, and I think in Mundaka Upanishad it says Shrotriya and Brahmanishta. Same words are used. Shrotriya के लिए use किया ज्ञानिनः, means somebody who has a knowledge of the Shastras. Okay. And Tattvadarshina meaning the most Brahmanishta means he has the experience of that Brahman. Personal experience of that Brahman, because if any of the two is missing, you won't be able to get it. Because if somebody has only Shastra Gyan and no experience, then it will be very dry, and he won't be able to get it. And if somebody has the experience but does not know how to communicate, that again is a problem for the masses. Now, they said कि भाई अगर गुरु एकदम साइलेंस में बैठ जाए, कुछ बोले नहीं, और चेला भी वहाँ जाके बैठ गया साइलेंस में, प्रश्न नहीं पूछ रहा है, गुरु आंसर नहीं दे रहा है, तो बोला मोस्ट ऑफ द पीपल नॉट गोना गेट एनीथिंग. वो बोले बुद्धू गया था और फिर बुद्धू वापस आ गया. There are few advanced souls, okay, who will get it in silence also. And we know Ramana Maharishi is a classical example. When advanced souls went over there, they got something, but not everybody. But Bhagavad Gita is for everybody. So if somebody in the normal circumstances want to get that the guru has to be Brahmanishta and Shrotriya, or here the Tattvadarshani and Jnanina, and you have to Pariprashnena, you have to ask questions. Then only some progress will happen. Otherwise it's not going to happen. And even with the question, he's saying that he gave the example, one of the Swamis gave the example that you go to a doctor, doctor is going to ask you, there will be some conversation between you two. क्या है सिम्टम ये वो, डॉक्टर के पास जाता है, वो डॉक्टर जी मुझे ठीक कर दो, कुछ बोलोगे नहीं तो डॉक्टर ठीक कैसे करेगा? I thought that was a good example that that dialogue has to happen for it to come out. And then he also, one of the Swamis gave a good answer about this question. He's saying, जब तक वो हम लोग को फाइनल मिले नहीं ना experience that he talked about, the knowledge, the culmination into knowledge, that अध्यात्म योग, तब तक ना ये this question should bug us. What kind of question should, who am I? What is this bondage that I'm feeling? Where it's coming from? And how can I get liberation? And what is mind? And what is the nature of self? And what's the relationship between, self and the mind? All those questions should be bugging us until we get that answer. So, these are the questions that, we should not कि वो स्वामी ने क्या पहना है और वो कौन सी कार में गया and all that. Not that way, but real questions to get there, Any question? Now that they told so much about question. And also one more point about humility. He said, this is like a water. It only flows from higher to the lower. So the humility में ही knowledge मिलती है. Because if you go there full of yourself, you're not going to do it. And then he also gave the example of, it was a beautiful example of how to tune to your guru. He said, it's same way like Arjun got tuned to Krishna Bhagavan. That is called tuning, because the same knowledge was heard by Dhritarashtra. Dhritarashtra was kind of very flabbergasted, for sure, with, my God, what is he saying and all. But koi farak nahi hua Dhritarashtra ke life mein. It did not sink into his heart because he was not tuned to him, Krishna Bhagwan. And Krishna Bhagwan को हमेशा वो ऐसे अलग-अलग देखता था ना कि, छलिया है, ये है, वो है. He could not get, and he continued with his own life. So that's why I'm saying that tuning to the guru is very, very important. Okay. And then he also gave the example of, one of the Swamis gave the example of whoever, like Meena ji will know this, and Sushil ji, that our Guru Dev, our Chinmayanand ji, he went to Tapovan Maharaj, and उन्होंने उनकी बहुत वहाँ पर रहे, बड़ी कठिन परिस्थितियों में बहुत सेवा की. और मैंने सुना है कि पानी लेने जाते थे गंगा से, और बहुत दूर था वो पानी. Here is a person from a rich family, and he had a great career and all that, but he has so much thirst to learn that, so that he did seva for 7 years. He got tuned to his master, and finally he got the experience, of oneness and all that. So I thought that was a very good example. And the other point that we have discussed before, I'll bring it anyway, because here hai guru or shishya ki baat ho rahi hai. He's saying that, like in one of the shastras, I'm trying to think which one will come to me, that it said that you don't go looking for the guru will come to you if you're ready, right? So, and the example is given, the flower blooms, the bees come to it. So he's saying that you become a good seeker. Don't worry about finding a great guru, because if you deserve the guru will be sent to you, because his Bhagwan is only main guru. So whenever a guru, right kind of person comes, Bhagwan is speaking through him for you. He's just a medium for you. But Bhagwan is speaking to you through him. So those are some of the subtle points in this. Any question? So what we will do is, I'm looking at the time, because the Kathoupanishad also, since the Brahma Vidya started over there, we will stop and we will read Swamiji's commentary next time about this. But if anybody has any particular question for this, we still have a few minutes. The 3 points. If not, then I can stop here. Is everybody okay so far? Okay.
Yes.
सर्वधर्मान् परित्यज्य मामेकं शरणं व्रज अहं त्वा सर्वपापेभ्यः मोक्षयिष्यामि मा शुचः. हरिः ओम श्री गुरुभ्यो नमः. हरिः ओम. ॐ सहना भवतु सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यं करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहैः ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः हरि ओम श्री गुरुभ्यो नमः हरि ओम. So we did the verse 13 was English translation is having heard and well grasped this the self, the mortal abstracting the virtuous Atman and attaining the subtle self, the intangible spirit rejoices because he has obtained that which is the cause for all rejoicing. I think that the abode of Brahman is wide open for Nachiketa. So he was just talking about that how you know rise above your pairs of opposite, and once you get that Brahman you rejoice because that's rejoiceable, like that is उसी में हम लोग को आनंद मिलता है, वो आनंदमय है, आनंदमय है. That's what basically it is. And this whole thing is available for Nachiketa because Nachiketa is ready for it. जो हम लोग बात कर रहे थे ना तैयार होने की, जो purity of mind, he was at the highest purity, so he's going to get it very very quickly. Just a little sar of it so that we know where we are coming. So now, remember when he gave him such a big compliment, कि Nachiketa is ready, or like Tejo Manaji was saying, he is standing at the door, Bhagwan is going to open the door, boom, he's going to go in. Okay? इतना बड़ा कॉम्प्लीमेंट देने के बाद भी नचिकेता ने ये नहीं शुरू किया वो थैंक यू यमराज फॉर गिविंग मी सच अ कॉम्प्लीमेंट. इंस्टेड उसका ध्यान एक वन पॉइंटेड था, बस मुझे मिलना चाहिए, वही क्वेश्चन पूछा है. आई टेल यू दैट इट इज अमेजिंग दैट हाउ इन भगवद गीता टू दिस इट्स कमिंग सो क्लियर नाउ. उन्होंने बोला ना प्रश्न पूछो, अब ये प्रश्न पूछ रहा है. That's exactly what he's doing. पर उसका प्रश्न इतना डीप है ना कि पूछो मत. कि पहले जो उसने प्रश्न पूछा था ना उसमें उसने उसको डाउट बताया था. उसने बोला था लोग कहते हैं कि कुछ रहता है, तो कुछ रहता है या नहीं. अब वो ये नहीं बोल रहा है कि कुछ रहता है या नहीं, उसको 100% पता चल गया बिकॉज यमराज जी ने डायरेक्टली उसको नॉलेज नहीं दिया. यू गाइस रिमेंबर कितना उन्होंने डिफरेंट बातें बोली. So many verses we went through, all that purified his mind further, and उसको पूरा निष्ठा हो गई एकदम कि it is there. So his question right now is loaded question that we are going to see what he asked and all that. So let me do the Sanskrit and all that, and then we will see what he's saying. Anyatra dharmat anyatra adharmat. Anyatra asmat kruta akrutat. So there are main words over here. Anyatra means something different. Dharmat and adharmat. Dharma or adharm se pare. That's what it means. And then anyatra, again I have a word, means something different than cause and effect. Kruta and akrutam. It means cause and effect. And we will see, the science of cause and effect, what they're talking about over here. Basically krut means कुछ create करना, अकृत means जो unmanifested form होता है उसका. That's what it means over here. थोड़ा सा subtle subject है ये, but we will get into it. अन्यत्र भूताश्च भव्याच and yatat pashyasi tad vad. So अन्यत्र भूताश्च भव means भूतकाल और भविष्य से परे जो है वो मुझे बताओ. And then the last part is a very loaded thing. Yat tat pashyasi tad vad. जो तुम देख रहे हो वो मुझे बताओ. मुझे शास्त्र के में क्या करें वो मुझे इंटरेस्ट नहीं है अभी बिल्कुल, बिकॉज वो मैंने पढ़ लिया. How you are seeing it, and that's where the tattva darshina that we saw, a guru who has seen that himself, who has experienced it rather than seen, that's the right word, who has experienced that, he is asking that guru, जो तुम देख रहे हो वो मुझे समझाओ. That is a very very loaded word over here. So in the modern world, the story that comes to my mind, and Joe will know this one, and most of you might know it too, that when Vivekananda, as a Narendra, when he was a young boy, a teenage boy, he approached his guru. That time he was not even his guru. He just went there. किसी ने बोला कि वहाँ पर है सत्संग हो रहा है, and he was going. He's saying, the question he asked, have you seen God? And Ramakrishna Paramahansa said yes. So he's saying, okay, then this is the right guy who's going to show me. So seeing God means the experience. That it's not physical seeing, and उन्होंने पूरे confidence से उसको बोला, गुरु ने, हाँ, I have seen it, and I can show you too. So that's where this is coming from. He said that yat tat pashyasi tad vad, whatever you're seeing, please tell me that. So that's that. Okay, let's do the Sanskrit word anyatra dharmat, other than the virtue, and anyatra, other than adharmat, vices. Dharma Hindi mein bolenge. Anyatra is other than, asmat is from this, kruta is effect, akruta is cause. And whoever did Mandukya Upanishad together, we have gone through it. Cause and effect, end mein, it's not there. Anyatra is other than, bhutacha from the past, and bhavyacha means from the future. Yat is which, tat is that, pashyasi you see, tat is that, vad is explained. So now let's look at this word dharma adharma. So what exactly it means? So in a very simple words, what dharma means, virtuous deeds, meritorious deeds, and or immoral things. We can worldly sense में हम लोग. तो उसका क्या significance है इधर कि हम लोग का कोई काम करते हैं, एक्शन करते हैं, तो या तो वो धार्मिक होगा या अधार्मिक होगा. So what will happen with that? उससे हमको पाप या पुण्य मिलेगा, right? Either we will get पाप or get पुण्य. और उसका रिजल्ट क्या होगा? पाप और पुण्य का, दुख या सुख, right? अगर हमने अच्छे काम किए होंगे तो हम लोग को पुण्य मिलेगा, उससे सुख मिलेगा. बुरे काम करेंगे तो पाप होगा, उससे दुख होगा. And if you remember in the previous 2 verses when Yamraj gave a little glimpse of that characteristic of that Brahman, he said, he used the word Harsh Shoka Jahati, means you can rise above Harsh and Shok. So when you come adharma and dharma, there is a lot of deep meaning behind it. They are talking about, in the end, actually Harsh and Shok only. So Harsh and Shok, this is at a Prakriti level. There is something which is beyond Harsh and Shok. You can rise above Harsh and Shok. That's what he's talking about. Tell me that is beyond adharma. Dharma means it is beyond Harsh and Shok. Or you can, another way to look at it, pair of opposites. Because in this world, in the relative realm of this world, you cannot live without pairs of opposites. Jahan darkness hai, wahan light bhi hogi. It's like one is recognized with the other. And the best example that I have heard of, you cannot live without the two on this realm is North Pole and South Pole. You have the magnet, एक बड़ा magnet ले लो तो उसमें 2 poles होते हैं, उसको तोड़ दो तुम, फिर से 2 pole हो जाते हैं उसमें. So the pair of opposites is a part of nature, but there is something that is above it, or उससे परे बोलते हैं हिंदी में. It is beyond, transcendental, that's the word. Something that transcends both of them. That's what he's asking. Now the next thing he said was, and then also Tejomana ji explained that पाप और पुण्य में ना को करने के लिए भी कर्ता चाहिए ना. You need body, mind, intellect, and you need the upkaran, this, that, outside thing. All of that is in realm of, BMI only, I mean, body, mind, intellect, and all that. And we have learned that Atma is something beyond it. And he also pointed out one important thing. He said, within that realm also, there is a little division is there. You have the body, mind, intellect, but if you do punya karmas over here, you can even go to Swargaloka after death, right? He's not talking about that. He already knows about that. That, okay, you can, Jiva can travel. to different lokas and things like that. He's talking something beyond even that. That's the main thing to remember is, okay. And then the next question he said was Kruta and Akrut, cause and effect. So we have done this in Mandukya Upanishads in a lot of detail, but we'll just recapitulate it what it is. Cause and effect is a part of this work, right? यहाँ पर हम लोग ढूंढ सकते हैं कि उसका cause क्या है, and everybody is interested in it. In fact, this is a statement by our Gurudev, Chinmayanand ji. Cause hunting is a preoccupation of human intellect. हम लोग सारा टाइम, अभी भी यही हो रहा है ना, ये कहाँ से आया वो COVID-19, सारे साइंटिस्ट लगे हुए हैं उसके पीछे, what is it, cause hunting, which is good, fine at this level, no problem, but there is a huge flaw in cause hunting, he said. The more you inquire, you will know, and that is cause पहले आया, effect पहले आया. It's like chicken came first or egg came first, seed came first or tree came first. Can anybody answer that? In the end, you will come across a huge wall and you will not be able to rise above it. And the best example that I can think of is एक circle ले लो. उसको बोलो वो ये circle में which point is the beginning and which is the end? Can we tell in a circle? No way. It looks like infinity. Keep going round and round. And then the other example, you will really get a big kick out of this example. He's saying कि जब हम लोग, अब मेरे बेटे को बेटा हुआ, right? So you will say, okay, ये जो Adi है, Adi क्या father is Manoj. So Manoj son is Adi. So who came first? Father or son? So everybody will say father. Of course, बिना father के बेटा कैसे होगा? लेकिन there is a little joke. बेटा कहता है नो डैड, फादर में तुम मेरी वजह से आया है. तो कोई बोलेगा कैसे? तो बोला वो फादर तब कहलाया जब बेटा पैदा हुआ. तो उसका कॉज हो गया कि नहीं वो? I thought that was such a great point. My son was not called a father until Adi came along. Adi made him a father. So Adi is the cause of fatherhood. That's the flaw. कि कौन किसका कारण है? So nobody knows. Because there is something is there beyond cause and effect. That's why, this is in the realm of still a confusion only. Because it's like a dream-like thing, So this is something to think about, but I thought this example was so good about father and son, Tejomayanand ji brought this example. So he's saying, cause and effect के जो अन्यत्र means उसके परे है वो मेरे को बताओ. And then the last point is past and future, because cause and effect always happen in the realm of time. Because कोई चीज जब हम बोलते हैं इसका cause क्या है, say now come back to the lower realm, okay, let's talk from the worldly perspective. कि इसका कॉज क्या था, तो उसमें टाइम फैक्टर आ जाता है कि पहले क्या था बाद में क्या हुआ. तो विदाउट टाइम कॉज और इफेक्ट नहीं हो सकता. टाइम इज अ इसेंशियल फैक्टर विच इज ऑल्सो एन इल्यूजन ओनली, बट इट इज अ इसेंशियल फैक्टर. एवरीबडी अग्रीज. एंड देन टाइम एंड स्पेस गो टुगेदर. दैट्स व्हाई दे से आइंस्टाइन की थियोरी में दे से टाइम स्पेस दे ऑलवेज गो टुगेदर, बिकॉज कोई भी घटना जब घटित होती है तो एक जगह पे होती है और एक टाइम में होती है. दैट्स वाई टाइम एंड स्पेस गो टुगेदर. विदाउट वन अदर का दूसरे का अस्तित्व नहीं होता. अगेन दिस इज अ लिटिल सटल थिंग, बट दिस इज पार्ट ऑफ दिस, सो आई हैव टू ब्रिंग दिस अप. सो बेसिकली व्हेन यू आर टॉकिंग अबाउट भूत एंड भविष्य, यू आर टॉकिंग अबाउट द टाइम फैक्टर. Something, and we have discussed in this class so much that time is a relative thing. The moment you go to another planet, forget about leaving the solar system. You go to another planet, your time changes. It can be 2 hour ka day or it can be 20 days ka day, one day. And then we have heard about it कि ब्रह्मा जी का एक दिन होता है, हमारे सारे वो तीनों युग और प्रलय और सब कुछ हो जाता है उसमें, इसके अंदर. So it's a relative thing, and that's why somebody was saying that Einstein calls it the theory of relativity, he calls it. So whenever we talk about all these pairs of opposites, and all that, cause, effect, past, future, dharma, or shoka, happiness, and all, this is all relative. And there is something which is beyond this. He's asking question, please tell me about that factor, what you are seeing with your own self or you're experiencing. That's what I want to know. And then one point that Tejomay Anandji brought was, if everything is relative at this plane, there has to be an absolute. And what is that absolute? That's what he's asking. And you need a Vedanta Praman for it, because it is not something somebody can show. And Vedanta is a Praman that there is something that exists. So one of the main shift that has happened in this verse for Nachiketa is he is 100% sure now that something exists, which he was not before. And he is kind of asking that. And Yamraj has already given a glimpse of it in the previous verse by saying that, remember that verse was that the Dhira Purush who rises above Shok and Harsh, he is the one who realizes that which is within cave of our own heart. And and we had a discussion, Sheilaji was asking that question that, within our own thoughts, behind it is hiding, So what we should do and all that question was there. So that's what this verse is all about. So we have time to read, but any question on this? Pretty heavy stuff, no? But something to think about. Especially because we have also done Mandukya now. So it should become relatively easy for us to understand it. Okay, who wants to read? Kamlaji, since you are there, you want to read?
I read today, yeah. To all the compliments paid by the Guru.
Wait. Read the English translation first.
Okay. Nichiketa said, that which thou seest as other than virtue and vice, as other than cause and effect, as other than the past and future, tell me that. To all the compliments paid by the Guru, the only answer that the disciple knows to give seems to be repeat his own question upon his burning doubt, once again in different words. To one who is a true seeker, there are no eyes and ears for applause or insults. Single-pointed, the seeker knows only to pursue the one idea, the problem of his inquiry. Almost unconscious of the surroundings or all the blessings that are showered on him, Nichiketa has ears only for the wisdom that will come out of the great Guru. All other talk is to him either meaningless prattle or a dull silence.
So we have discussed that how he did not get affected by this great compliment. He was focused, and पूरा जो हमने भगवत गीता में भी पढ़ा वो इधर आ रहा है कि भाई he has a guru which is brahmanishta and shrotriya or tattvadarshani and jnanina, same thing, and his mind is so pure, is focused on one thing, and he's asking question because he wants to know, he wants to clarify जो थोड़ा सा last bit of doubt पड़ा हुआ है.
And same thing applies to me. I ask the same question maybe 100 times in this Gita class.
That's fine.
That is the clarification I want to reach there.
Yeah, no, you're doing good. Mm-hmm.
Nichiketa the seeker is here inquiring of his teacher and the nature of reality. Instead of stating it directly, he is here putting the questions as though it was a confusing conundrum.
Means riddle. That's what it means, riddle. Yeah.
Okay. This is not to confuse the issue, nor is it a futile attempt to look himself to be very wise. On a closer inquiry, it becomes obvious that the three parts of the question, separately and together, point out the vast area that he has covered himself independently during his endless meditations upon the life's happenings which so far had visited him.
So this is very important thing, that even though this question sounds very kind of confusing, what is he saying? But then after I told you how Tejamayananji explained those three terms that he was using, opposite, what it means, he has come to this conclusion by independently endless meditations upon the happening, means he's done so much manana, and all that. So that's why he is able to come to this conclusion, because वहां तक पहुंचना भी एक बहुत बड़ी बात है, to come up with the idea that, hey, there is something that is beyond these things. That's what I want to learn. That's what point he's trying to.
His inquiry points out to a truth that lies beyond virtue and vice, which is neither the cause nor the effect, and which does not belong either to the past or to the future. By the term virtue and vice, it would be wise of us to understand that these represent the entire list of pairs of opposites such as joy and sorrow, success and failure, hope and despair, health and disease, and so on. Truth, or the ultimate reality, being one without a second, Advaita, cannot of its very nature have anything to do with one or the other other of any conceivable pairs of opposites. Vice has got an existence only with reference to virtue. Light can be recognized only with reference to the darkness. Life would be meaningless without death.
So now we know कि अगर life बोला है, we understand life because of death. That's how also you can look at it. Other thing you can look at it कि एक सिक्का होता है, तुम उसके दो sides को separate नहीं कर सकते, तो सिक्का ही नहीं कहलाएगा. Sikka means it will come together, and then I gave the other example. So this is how this nature is, that pair of opposites.
Thus, if we were to accept that truth is virtue, then the truth cannot be absolute, for it will be limited by the existence of vice also. When there are two things different in their nature, one must necessarily limit the other. For example, when a half tumbler of milk is watered sufficiently to fill the glass, we cannot in truth say that the glass is full of milk. The water limits the milk. So
he's just explaining it different ways. Everybody can understand the way they want to, but basically that's what they are saying. This pair of opposites, some God cannot favor one over the other. Then no God. That's why हम लोग जब भगवान के बारे में बोलते हैं तो इसे ऑल कंपैशनेट, किसी ने कितना भी कुछ खराब किया हो, भगवान एक्सेप्ट्स ऑल, बोलते हैं कि नहीं हम लोग, इसीलिए बोलते हैं. देयर आर डिफरेंट वेज ऑफ लुकिंग एट इट, व्हिचएवर वे यू वांट.
Again, if the absolute truth in its pure eternal nature were to have the quality of being virtuous, then truth becomes a substance, and so finite and perishable. It is evident, therefore, that behind the words of this question is a volume of thought pursued by a highly cultured intellect, sedulously trained in the wisdom of Shastras.
Basically, he's just telling you the same things, and this is a subject that each one of us has to think in our own mananam, but basic points I already gave about, pair of opposites. Yeah.
Thus, the question of Brahman boy to Lord Death was a demand for an explanation of that unknown factor which is eternal and immortal, which in itself is neither virtuous nor vicious, and without which neither virtue nor vice can have any existence at all. The question clearly demands a discussion of the Atman, which is pure consciousness, or the awareness in us, and which is the eternal witness beaming to illuminate equally both virtue and vice.
So I want to bring one point over here, that how he's saying that this factor is neither virtuous nor vicious, but without which neither virtue or vice can have any existence. That's the main thing. And then when we were talking about, okay, I'm sitting in meditation, bad thoughts are coming and I cannot concentrate, one of the technique is, don't worry about the thought, how the thought is illuminated, go to that point. Because चाहे तुम्हारे बुरे विचार हो या अच्छे विचार हो, उस illuminating factor के बगैर उसका अस्तित्व ही नहीं है. And that's why when we go to chapter 11 of Bhagavad Gita and he shows him Virat Roop, right? तो शुरू में तो अच्छी अच्छी चीजें देखी उसने, एंड में वो भयानक रूप जो देखा ना, अर्जुन तो थर थर कांपने लगा, बिकॉज इन दैट एब्सोल्यूट एवरीथिंग इज इंक्लूडेड, बैड गुड, यू नो एवरीथिंग, एंड उसमें पूरा डेथ भी दिखाई. Everybody loves, when the baby is born and all that, and we are fearful and we look at death as a very negative thing, but a spiritual person is not going to look at it that way. He will look at death and birth as the same. We have not reached that state, but they actually look at it same way because it's a part of the same coin. So that's the main thing, that something without which nothing can exist, good or bad, and that's why it is beyond. That's the point I wanted to. And I think Swamiji in his commentary will explain more. Next paragraph he'll explain.
The street lamp of its very nature throws a pool of light onto the road. Whatever portion of the passing parade comes into that light gets illuminated so long as it remains within the area lit up. The lamp is mere witness. The light neither dances in joy when a honeymooner couple passes that way, nor does the light kneel in drunkenness when a reveler passes by, nor does it weep when it comes to illuminate a tearful funeral procession. Irrespective of the merits or demerits of the scene, the light in its own nature brightens up that which comes within its umbrella.
So everybody understood his example? कि light is illuminating and in that light everything is happening, but light has nothing to do with तुम चाहे अच्छा काम करो बुरा करो, कोई funeral procession जा रहा है, कोई बारात जा रही है. Neither light is getting happy nor is getting sad, it's just there illuminating, and now whatever can happen will happen within that. That's the point. And the consciousness is like that. So basically, it gives you the support to do what you want to do. That's what it's telling you.
Similarly, there is an all-witnessing eternal light of wisdom, the divine spark within us, which is the source of all life and light, and by which we become aware of the vice and virtue idea in our mind and intellect. Certainly, this great witness, the Atman, is that which is other than virtue and vice, being itself only a witness.
So now the word witness also, witness उसी को बोलते हैं जो उसमें इन्वॉल्व नहीं हो. जैसे कोई एक्सीडेंट हुआ है, विटनेस कौन होएगा? जो खड़ा होके देख रहा था. One of the parties cannot be a witness. Witness has to be something other than them. So that's how the word witness has come. कि you are not involved in it and you are just the observer.
Taking now the second part of the question, let us inquire what is that which is neither the cause nor the effect. Every effect is the fulfillment of a cause, and as such it is nothing other than the cause itself, with reference to another period of time and changed conditions. A seed sown, the cause in time and under certain favorable conditions, becomes the effect, the seedling or the plant. All effects can be reduced similarly to their causes, and yet each time the question would arise, what had caused this cause? Thus, we would arrive at an unending chain, and its difficulty is termed in Sanskrit system of logic as anvashya dosa.
Anavastha dosh.
Anavastha dosa.
दोष ये द लिखा हुआ है दोसा, बट बेसिकली संस्कृत में अगर हम प्रोनाउंस करेंगे तो अनवस्था दोष.
अनवस्था दोष. Regression ad infinitum.
Remember I told you that cause hunting, we cannot go to the last cause. We get stuck. There is no answer to it. That's what he's talking about. There's a flaw in this.
In order to circumvent this absurdity, the God principle, the accepted first cause for the manifested Jagat, is considered by all schools of philosophy as Swambhu, the uncaused cause, the self-caused cause, or the self-born.
So I don't know if you have heard of the word Swayambhu. ये शिव जी का भी नाम है, Swayambhu. Means, causeless cause. It has come by itself.
Yeah, Sadhguru uses it a lot.
Yeah, so that's the meaning of it. कि उसके पीछे कोई cause नहीं है, वो ही खुद ही अपना cause है. उसके पीछे कोई नहीं आ सकता. It's the last cause. बोल दो, कुछ भी बोलना हो बोल दो. That's what it means.
But the question of Nachiketa goes even beyond the God principle or the uncaused. It is accepted as a cause, and a cause has a justification and an existence only with reference to its effects. But the theme of inquiry here, it is to be clearly understood, is of that principle which is neither a cause nor an effect.
So we have hashed it out enough. And then in the previous paragraph, Swamiji was explaining that हम लोग cause effect बोलते तो हैं, मगर it just a time factor की बात है. Same चीज जो cause था वो बाद में effect बन जाता है. That's all it is. Because एक gold था पहले, gold का lump था, फिर वो गहना बन गया. So it's the same thing. It has just time factor and थोड़ा सा difference हुआ बस. But है तो वही चीज.
Thus, by this term also the Brahman boy is inquiring of Lord Death for the nature of the witnessing light of intelligence, which is the knower of all the causes and effects, himself being neither the cause nor the effect. Lastly, by asking his teacher to explain that which is neither the past nor the future, the Brahman seeker is hungrily asking for instructions upon the nature of illuminate reality in us, the self or the Atman, which is realizable as pure awareness when we are neither rambling with our hopes and ambitions in the uncertain lands of the unborn time, the future, nor identifying ourselves with a team of ghost-like memories recruited from the cremation grounded of dead moments, months and years which constitute our past.
So this sounds a little complicated. Basically all he's saying कि जो हमारे जो past memories है ना, they are like cremation ground of dead moments. He's calling them. उसको हम लोग कभी वापस तो नहीं ला सकते हैं. So he's just using these strong words because if you see average person on this earth, they are always living in the past or future. They are never living in the present. So he's just saying that, when you say something that is beyond, actually it isn't. The present moment is the only moment. You can look at it that way. Some people explain it this way. And Tejomeyananji explained even it is beyond all three periods of time. Past, present and future. Both are correct way of looking at it. Whichever suits you, you can do that. So some people, like to say that present moment is the only moment that we have, and that's where Brahman is. That's where infinity is. And that future is nobody has ever seen the future, so don't worry about it. But past is already gone, and that's not in your hand, and don't waste your time with it.
We become aware of the eternal awareness in us to be ourselves only when we cut away our meaningless chains with the past and stop our dangerous flirtations with the unborn future through the cobwebs of silly hopes, ambitions, and desires. In short, the contents of an immediate moment is eternity or immortality. To capture a moment without the shackles borrowed from the past or the future, and thus to become fully aware of the moment in itself and as such, is the culmination of the pilgrimage of a sadhak. This is called samadhi, and the experience gained therein is the experience of truth.
So this is a very simple way he showed what is samadhi. If somebody has learned to be in the present moment, he's in samadhi. I think it's such a beautiful, you don't need to sit and meditate for like years and years. He's telling you another technique that you can reach the samadhi, which is very simple one.
When you become fully aware of the moment in itself and such as such. I was just rereading the.
Yeah, it's very powerful. Yes.
Very good.
And they have that that person has, Eckhart Tolle has that book, Power of Now. That's exactly what it is. The present moment power kitna hai usme. Because the God only resides over there, or Brahman is right there.
Yeah. Nachiketa, now it is clear, must have spent many days and nights pondering constantly upon the happenings about and around him, as well as those within him. The all-witnessing presence of divinity, the prompter, the controller, and the regulator of our memories and yearnings, in short, the recognizer of the future and the past, the Atman in us, is the theme indicated by the question.
So he's just telling कि अब तक वो इस conclusion पे बस पहुंच गया कि है और मुझे वो जानना है, because he was waiting over there for the 3 nights. He did not, जैसे और कोई होता ना रेगुलर, तो वो सारा टाइम वो कर सिखाओ में आया और वो तो है ही नहीं. No, he was actually he got so much out in those 3 days because he went into his own mananam and meditation and all that in 3 days.
Supremely self-confident of his own